Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Connections 50 Plus Facebook Live Wednesday, but we also live on Gael, the Caribbean. And hello, welcome again to all our Facebook followers, over 2,500 of you, I think, and all of Gael's listeners right through the Caribbean, every one of the Caribbean territories except Cuba for now.
Right.
I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite, one of the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph, the other co-creator of Connections 50 Plus. And good evening to you all.
Yes. And we know that you would have all tuned in last week and you got a good sense of what we are about. And you also know by now that you can go onto our YouTube channel, Connection 50 Plus, and you can see all of our streams, all 32. I think this is show number 33.
Yes.
Yeah, last week was number 32. And we're continuing, we're a magazine program now. Jen, we are a magazine program now. And we are making connections with those who are 50 plus getting ready to go on to the third act of life. This stage where we can do what we want for us and for ourselves. Okay?
So what we have been doing, now that we are on Gael and Cape,
Cable TV.
we have really now looked at the different programs and to ensure that we cover the different aspects of a 50 plus life.
Yes.
You know, and those who have been following us before, or you're already aware of the different buckets as we say, and we mentioned it last week. So today, guess what?
But Jen, before we introduce today's topic, I want to give a special backstory about our backstory.
Okay.
This really is a wonderful view of the Caribbean Sea from Barbados. So it's actually a view out of I was in Barbados for some time and I thought that the scene was so fantastic.
Yes.
So I thought this was one of the pictures that would really help to show we are all connected. The Caribbean Sea brings us together. So just dip into the water.
And what's great, we could be anywhere. We could be by the sea today, and then next week we could say, you know what, let's go up the mountains.
Oh yes, or let's be in the city. So you'll be on a journey with us.
But because I like the scenery here, because of the calmness,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because of the topic we're going to be speaking about, Terri-Ann, this is really a beautiful backdrop for this discussion.
So what is it? What is our topic today?
Well, we are looking at, you know, more on wellness, and we are going to chat. We are having a guest, but let me tell you, because of the COVID and being, you know, we don't want to crowd the set at all, that we're going to be interviewing her online.
Yeah.
So our topic is taking a look inside of you.
Yeah.
And Terri, when, you know, I like that topic because, you know, we need to, and Terri, as we get older, we are very conscious about our health. What we you know, what we should do to keep us healthy.
Our health and well-being.
Oh yes, definitely.
Our health and well-being. Because it's not only about staying healthy, it's about continuing to have a body that can go with us.
Yes.
And can take us actively, energetically. But let's be talking about that healthy. Jan, what would you say to our viewers? I mean, everyone is worried now. We're going to be talking about health. We're going to be talking in the middle of the coronavirus. Let's see who's on the line. And it may very...
Hi.
Hey, hello. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Desiree. Thanks for joining us. So before I answer Terri-Ann's question, Terri-Ann, we can discuss that
Yes,
after.
when we are done.
Thanks so much for joining us. And we have with us now, joining us, Dr. Desiree Arnold. And we asked Dr. Arnold to join us in this conversation because of, I mean, I knew her from having gone to Dr. Arnold to get an opinion about, I wanted to look an alternative medicine, I should say. And as a result, meeting with her and chatting with her, I thought would be very good to have a chat with us on this. So Dr. Arnold, let me allow you to tell our audience a bit about yourself, and they will hear from your accent that you are not Trinidadian. So tell us a bit maybe from where you're from and what type of medicine or what do you practice right now?
Okay, well, good evening, dear viewers. Good evening, Jennifer and Terri-Ann. It's such an exciting opportunity to be on TV interviewed by you.
Yes.
As you introduced me, I'm Dr. Desiree. Yes? Yes. I am Dr. Desiree Arnold, and I studied in Germany alternative and naturopathic medicine. I'm board certified over there. And shortly after graduating, I came in 1994 to Trinidad and Tobago. I lived first a few years in Tobago, being kind of the village doctor, with having a young family and so on. Yes, and then in 2000 I came to Trinidad, and yes, that's about it.
Great. So we could say you're Trini.
Yeah, almost. Somehow I could never shake off my accent, so I'm a Trini. Yes, I love it here. I've stayed here through, yeah, it's a beautiful place, wonderful people, and yes, I'm happy for it to be my home of choice.
So, Dr. Arnold, tell us, how does your practice differ from maybe what we know as our general practitioners?
Okay. Well, like when you go to a general practitioner, you will go and you will say, or he might check you and he will see, your blood pressure is high. He will give you a tablet to lower it. If you say, I get chest burn, he might give you antacids, or you go and they treat a specific symptom.
Okay.
To normalize the function. Now, for most naturopathic doctors or people who have been trained like me in Western alternative and naturopathic medicine and in Eastern traditional Chinese medicine, we look at the body a little different, right? So we have a questionnaire where we collect in basically similar questions like a regular medical physician would do.
Okay.
But then when you look at my questionnaire, I might ask questions where you find like, this is like really weird. Why is she asking me if I wake up at night? Or why is she asking me if I get hot hands or feet?
Yeah, would you say, okay, so because I have been to you and I appreciate the difference, so for our audience listening, so when I go to my general practitioner, which I still go to just clear up that for anybody listening there, they do ask a lot of questions also, but the part you take, is it that you focus more maybe on the organs or on imbalances? What would make you stand out? Like when I come to you as against, and the questions, yes, because I know they cover a lot, the questions may be a bit similar, but in terms of what are you actually looking for, because we're dealing with what is inside,
Yes, I was coming to it. So you might wonder how I'm asking some questions which might seem irrelevant to you. Mm-hmm. But to me, they give me an insight to like the energetic status of your organs, which affect you now on a physical level, but also on a maybe emotional level or on a energetic level, or how you deal with anger, stress, and so on. We all know stress involves the adrenals heavily, but all the organs, they have different functions, right? So you have the liver. In Western medicine, basically it's a detox organ. Now, when we look at the liver does do other things. Let me say it like this. When somebody is angry, we have in Germany a figure of speech which says, oh, a louse must have walked over his liver and have been sour. Right?
Somebody get your vexed.
Or bitter. So what we do is we would look at the health of your organ now, not by lab values, but by seeing, like if I see your kidneys are weak, basically then you have thin hair, you would have less energy to build heat, you would you would get easier brittle bones or problems with your teeth, also your energy level would be reduced, right? Or let's say the heart. You would find in the 50 plus the age group, it have a lot of people with high blood pressure or with like emotional
So let me just
coaster. And that has actually a physiological reason. It's not that something is wrong with you. It's that the body is expressing certain needs, and maybe there is lacking nutrients. Maybe it's under stress and needs detox. And to find out what your organs might need, the approach is different than in Western medicine. I would like to say something here before you ask the next question, because you have mentioned you still see your other physician, and I believe that when alternative approaches and the medical approach can work together. Would be really lovely. I never tell any of my patients to send their physician to hell, because many of us, we are really happy when we get a strong painkiller to just, you understand, get some sleep or be able to do what we want to do. We are glad when we have medication, because they are like life vests, but it's not something that keeps you swimming and floating and is sustainable. But they are necessary and have their, how you say in English, like their justification to use it until you could walk or swim on your own again. But it's not good to cling on to it.
Dr. Arnold, I would like to ask a question. Now, there's always a confusion in my mind. You know about the traditional doctors, traditional medicine. You go into a traditional doctor, they take your blood pressure, they sound you. There's certain things they go through. You describe what the malady that you feel, and then they prescribe medicines. What is the experience of visiting you? How will your visit be different? What will happen to me?
First of all, I would assess where a person stands and try to sift out causes, like what could I eliminate in that person's life, right? It's like when you go and you clean up somebody's attic. You don't bring more stuff in there one time. You clean out first. You see what is there, and then you try to eliminate what fuels the problem the patient might have.
So can I say, Dr. Arnold, that a visit to you would involve a very intense interview?
Oh, yes. I remember when you looked at me with big eyes and said, so long this will take? Yes, because, you see, as I said earlier, your body speaks to you. What we naturopathic doctors see, or what a Western physician might see as disease, we will see it as health. You know?
Yes.
And either we support the action, or if needed, or we support the healing.
Could you
But
say
what
that
the
again,
Western
Dr.
doctor will
Arnold?
do, you go, you say, I have fever, or let's say, I have back pain. You get an anti-inflammatory.
Uh-huh.
But maybe you do wrong movements, or you eat high inflammatory foods,
Yeah.
or you have toxic overload. That does also store crystals, not just in your fat, but also in your joints. I remember very well, I was a kid, when I grew up, I always had a lot of pain. I had a lot of problems with absorbing food, but that was not the cause why I went into alternative medicine. But when I went to the medical school, we then had cupping. I'm sure many of you are familiar with cupping.
Yes.
And when I got the experience of getting cups on my back, which were moved around, I only heard crushed glass moving in my body.
Wow.
It really sounded like crushed glass, and after even one treatment, my pain has gotten so much better.
You know,
So instead of getting painkillers to alleviate my back pain, the body was animated to get rid of what what keeps my body more inflamed.
you know, doctor, let me say this. What you're just explaining there, and I must say to our audience, I had experienced, going to Dr. Arnold, for me, what it helped with is cleared up, as she said, what has been. Yes, the doctor did a good job in terms of saying, diagnose me, and I'm on medication. But the difference here is you were able to say certain, like anxiety created certain issues. Maybe when you look at the blood and you look at what might create certain, how it can affect my organs, or do that imbalance. And again, knowing this, it helped me in terms of managing the emotional state that you spoke about.
Yes.
So that, Terri-Ann, I would say, really it's like an enhancement to me taking my medication and understanding more about what's going on inside of me.
You know, it's interesting because people can come to the doctor from a different perspective.
Oh, yes.
And in your case, you were seeking answers to certain conditions that you had.
Yes.
And the interview process that you would have gone through with Dr. Arnold would have brought you to a better understanding, especially when it was put together with the traditional doctor.
Yes, yes.
If I look at my own case, I am what you will call all boxes ticked and given a clean bill of health by my doctors based on the last executive medical and last checkups that I did. But I know I'm going into a different state of life, and I want to be sure, because there are they tick certain boxes: blood pressure, heart, breathing. But I know that my system, my body is made of so many more systems that aren't on the regular check.
Yes.
And Dr. Arnold, my understanding of the difference in terms of going to visit a nephrologist like yourself is that you go into the whole me. Hence that very intense interview, which may seem to be intruding in my innermost being. That's why we call this show Looking Into Me. So that the alternative doctors, I get the sense of after a visit to you, you have a comprehensive picture of me. What is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. as opposed to the regular doctor who may focus on the problem that
Yes.
I presented to him. Is that
Hello.
the essential difference?
Yeah, well, that is a very interesting point. I didn't want to, I'm gonna make a
And I'm not creating
like in my
controversy.
case, like we had, let's say, like somebody is 50, 60 years old, gets anxiety, heart palpitations, breathing problems, wakes up in the night. That shows that energetically you create more moving energy than that you holding it within you to move your blood and help your organs working. So what happens? Your kidneys are under stress. They have to work hard. Now, when that's not a good approach.
No, let me help you here.
But I want to
in
say
that
the
you
organs, they
mentioned
support one another, right?
Yeah.
We have different organ systems. In Chinese medicine, you have the liver, the heart, the stomach, lungs, kidney. They belong to different elements. And one element brings out the other one. Another element cools down the next one. So if you have like kidney, which is water will not fuel fire. Okay?
Yes.
It will cool fire.
Yes.
All right? But now, let's say liver is wood. Wood.
Yes.
That turns into fire easy. So if your liver cannot hold the energy, what happens? People get angry, they yell,
You
they get
understand?
emotional outbursts too, and sometimes like depressive because the excess from the liver, which cannot hold in, goes up and affects the heart, and then it affects the head because the heart is the seat of your
So, Dr.
spirit.
Arnold, okay, so I don't want you, so you see, we don't want to take advantage of you here to give a whole, to give us too much details on that. That's not fair to you. But tell me, because we like to open up the lines, and we may have to take it on the other since Dr. Arnold is on this line.
Yes.
In
If
terms-
you, and we could say that if anyone wants to call in to the please call in on
the WhatsApp
on
number.
the 386-7863 line, because again, because of COVID-19, Dr. Arnold was supposed to be on set, but we are practicing responsible social distancing, so we decided to use technology and have her call in.
Okay.
So if you have questions, the number is right on set, right here, 386-7863.
Alan, tell me something. Let me use myself. And those who are within, the 50 plus age group. Soon, next week, I'm already into the 60 plus, okay?
Yes.
And I am really very concerned again about how can I remain healthy. So I would love to know in terms of what's going on inside. I have already, as I said, in terms of the traditional doctor, did that part. I have my nutritionist who has, given me lists in terms of guidance.
And she's looking on.
Yeah, as to how I should eat,
I know,
etc., and the type of foods. But in your case, and this is why I thought of you, I'm not yet comfortable with what's happening inside. I still want to know, and you mentioned it earlier, what triggers off that, what organ I should pay attention to.
What are the main organs? Liver, heart, kidney, and which is the other one? Spleen.
You have you have the liver gallbladder. You have your heart and the pericardium, large intestine, small intestine. You have your
Everything
stomach.
in your abdomen.
So listen to me, Dr. Arnold. What I want to know is, I would love to know which set of my organs going really good and which set I have to pay attention to. So, as I said, my medical doctor,
okay.
that's not the area. I did a lot of tests, the x-rays and all that, but that doesn't tell me which organs, maybe the weak organs that I have to pay attention to. How can you help someone with my situation?
Okay, well, first of all, this long assessment and a lot of talking, finding out, getting answers from you. And then once I have this, I can see how the relationship, the energetic relationship between the organs.
Okay.
Now, it is not English word again. It is not so defined. You know, in West medicine, you have a glass half full. And he said, oh, it's half full. It needs to full up.
Okay.
Or it needs to empty. One of the two, or it's good so. In Oriental medicine, it is different. You could have, once you have like homeostasis or a balance between the organs where they nurture, control, and support one another in a balanced way, then you're fine. But you cannot just say, oh, I want a really, really strong now energetic heart. This is now again seen energetically.
Okay.
Okay? Then your heart will tire out the liver, and it will tire out the kidneys. They have to put so much water into the heart.
So then, at the end of it all...
So I would have to look at the whole picture and at the relations.
Okay.
Now, you could have 2 full glasses. It's balance between yin and yang. The yin forces, which are nurturing, cooling, and the yang forces, which are the yang energy, which is basically heat and movement. Okay? So those aspects have to be in balance. So if you have 2 glasses and both are half full, and one is representing yin and one is representing yang, then you still have balance.
Okay. All right. So what we're saying, and let me just, in terms of not keeping you any longer, I understand that. So what that will help me do, and actually I started taking action, at it, because it will really ease my mind knowing that, okay, if I feel a certain way, this is what I have to look for. This is the organ I have to make sure then my nutritionist say, okay, I should eat this, will help, strengthen this organ, etc. So, Dr. Arnold, let me just open up.
If I may ask, we could open up the lines and people can call in on, as I said, the WhatsApp number 386-7863. Because I want to bring the conversation back to our current environment.
Excuse me, can I just say something to this, what you were asking me about with your organs before I forget? I kind of flew out my head now. Yes, people your age, or also mine, I am now 50, we tend to have a yin deficiency.
Oh, okay.
What is a yin deficiency?
The mistake, what most people do when they get older, they say, I need more energy, and they pumping themselves full with stuff which gives energy, which does overheat them and dries them up. Okay, when you get now dried up, your joints don't have fluid.
No, that will dry up. You have to be very careful with that.
Dry eyes, your hair falls out, your muscles dry up, you lose muscles.
So it is extremely important at this stage, at my stage, at the 50+ stage, to be aware of the state of our organs.
Yes.
Am I correct in saying that?
The nurturing, especially we as in this age, at this age, we have to nurture first of all our kidneys, because there is where our birth energy lies in. And once we can balance our kidneys, then you have cooling energy for all those organ systems which run hot. And then you detox to create gut health, intestinal health, so you could eat and absorb, transport the nutrients where they have to go,
Wow.
and then you can clean out the cell and transport all the rubbish to where it has to go, either into your intestine to come out as stool or as sweat through the skin or in your breath or in,
So
in
we
the
have-
bile, in urine.
We have a lot of different aspects to look at. So, Terri-Ann, because I'm looking at the time, can we just start up 5 minutes or
Yes.
let's open the lines before
Yes.
we go into...
And what I would like, Dr. Arnold, in terms of helping people in this current environment, people are undergoing a lot of stress because of the uncertainty and the fear around the COVID-19 pandemic that is just rolling through the world and intensifying. And we're talking about people who are 50 plus. Yes, seems to be ground zero, but it's extending to everyone else. How can your practice, naturopathic medicine, this understanding of the need to balance ourselves, help in coping with the stress involved in that we're living through right now?
Well, I am someone, I try to give persons as little medication as possible. When you are facing stress now, that this is a problem. I don't want to talk about COVID now, but about stress. When you suffer a lot from stress, you tend to not process insulin so well, which will cause a whole set of other things, including feeling more stress.
Yes.
Okay, so to develop routines which root you, you know, I have like people, now we can't do it. You go to the beach, it's relaxing, we cannot do that now.
That's why we did this.
I would say, please change your breakfast. We, especially, we just eat the wrong breakfast. We eat stuff which is starchy, sugary, which the body understands as sugar. This will set you off for the rest of the day and affect you into the night. You will have more anxiety. But then when you switch to a breakfast, which is like more protein and fat-based. Now, I'm not saying you should eat 2 sunny sides up with a couple strips of bacon. No. What I am talking about is add roughage to your breakfast. You know, like flaxseed, fruit. You can use not much oats. It's not that beneficial for you, but you could use cottage cheese. You could use a natural yogurt. Put some flaxseed in it. Put some flaxseed oil in it. Lecithin. Cut a fruit into it.
So what?
Get a coffee grinder, some sesame seeds.
Dr. Arnold wants
So
to
Dr.
change the
Arnold-
Caribbean palate.
And you,
Dr. Arnold, what you're saying, though, is that we have to be very careful in terms of the breakfast, how we start in that day to release our stress. So we have to be careful. Look at the foods that, you know, that contains most of the sugars and stay away from those foods.
especially for breakfast.
That
if you
is
have
not a good start for our...
time in the afternoon, but not in the morning. It will offset your hormones, and it will be very difficult for you to manage your stress. You will do it with ease if you switch the breakfast.
So that's thanks for that advice, Terri-Ann. That is something really that we should look at. I haven't considered that, although I mean, for me, yes, because I off of sugars, but off of sugar completely. Not completely, but
I don't understand
I
that
don't
language.
keep sugar in my house.
I don't understand
But
that.
when I think, because some of the fruits, I have to be careful with certain fruits, etc., even cereal, because of the sugar content.
Hello, you tell me come out
So,
today, so I can't drink
so
wine.
let me correct
We
you.
have to make
So
a
we
show
want to
on
thank you.
sugar at time.
Yeah.
And
So we
next
want,
time.
Terri-Ann, at this stage, we should, Dr. Arnold, we should thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on set with us.
Yes, yes.
I'm doing this interview, telephone interview. We appreciate it a lot because we know what is happening now. And the tips that you have shared with us and with the audience definitely. And of course, after the COVID, we can all
Yes.
come together on a round table and, have a better chat.
Definitely.
Yes.
So thanks so much. And of course, we have your information. So if any of the listeners would like to get your information, they can contact us and we will pass it on for you. Okay?
Great.
Okay, thank you.
All
Have
right,
any
bye.
listeners called in or not yet?
Okay.
So we're going to have a short break now, and we will be back in about a minute. So hold on. See you soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Bye,
Arnold.
thank you so much.
Yes, good.
Facebook talk. So let's continue. When we say we on break, you see we learning, huh?
We on cable TV on break, so now
Cable
we're back.
TV on their break. And Terri-Ann, you know what was interesting? And you said that Maria was also listening. When
And she's going to call in soon.
Yeah. When Dr. Arnold mentioned, especially to control that anxiety at this time, and you asked me the question before we went on break, how am I handling? Dr. Arnold there mentioned about that breakfast, where we should really think about what we eat for breakfast.
But I think one of the things that we have to make sure that we do is, as I said, if we look at ourselves, there are two different approaches. And sometimes one of the things that I would like to come out of this intervention with Dr. Arnold, I think the alternative approach to medicine is so beneficial for us.
Oh, yes.
Because she has done such a wonderful thing for you in terms
Oh,
of
yes.
identifying source of anxiety, and it's what we eat and what we do.
Okay, so before that break, I was sharing with Terri-Ann this week actually, my neighbor, I always wanted to do the kitchen garden, vegetable garden, and just didn't get around to it because again, you're busy. So because we have all this time, my neighbor said, okay, we're starting. So we got all the things together and we started. And I decided, well, she did actually take some of the pics as we from beginning to the end because we were all excited. And I posted just about 3 on my Facebook page. Terri-Ann, this was yesterday, I think it was. As of today, I had about 75 views. And I am saying, I shouldn't even say views, nearly about at least 25 to 30 people actually commented, in terms of how they can do it, where got soil from. And that shows that, you know what, they're eager to do something. They saw the benefit of having your own garden before you couldn't do it because of time. So this extra time, if you want to look at it, I always look at the positives, right? So I focus on the positives. And the positive for me was you have the time to start doing something. It may not be a gardener, doing something to make you happy, keep you occupied, and get you all excited every day.
Yes.
This morning I gone out to wet, and all that. So my thing about at this time, when we are more home, keep yourself active in some way, so you won't get bored or miserable.
Yeah. And I look at it as, and it's because I work at home. I've been working at home for the last 10 years, 11 years. I have a home-based business. So to me, it's all right. The rest of the world has come into this realm.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we have to look at as we go into this third act of life is understanding what are those new patterns, what are the new systems, how do we use up our energy? Because as Desiree was saying, when you have energy stored inefficiently all over your body, you're not eating right. That's when you come out with all kinds of crazy emotions, mood swings, and everything like that. And one of the things we really want to do at 50 Connections 50 Plus is to help you understand, all right, what's my pattern going to be going forward? Because it's one thing to start a COVID garden And it's the next thing when COVID finish, and you go back to whatever your pattern was, you end up with a set of dry dirt in the yard.
I was thinking that because
So
I meant to say
we have
too,
to think long
for
term.
many of those who, and I had to say, no, I like gardening. I like gardening. So for me, that is a content. It's just that was to get started. Now I'm in this particular place to get that started.
Yeah.
But Terri-Ann, I agree with you. For those who now want to start anything, and especially at this stage in life, start something that will make you happy and take you through.
Jennifer, let me also say, and to end on a very serious note, that this virus is not only a health crisis, it is an economic crisis.
Oh yes, definitely.
Everything is going to change. Businesses that now see, well, everybody could go home and telecommute. I don't need all of you all back here. You're going to have a significant shift in how employment is structured. That may very negatively affect the 50-plus community.
It will definitely affect it,
Many of
Terri-Ann.
us have to start really using the time to reflect on, hello, what are my skills? What are my interests? What do I really want to spend my time doing? Yes, you could go back to work when it's all done, but start thinking long term. And we will invite you to continue looking on at Connections 50 Plus. We have serious programs that will
Terri-Ann,
help
what
you.
you just said, and let me, of course, endorse what you just said. And that is why, we, being aware of this, have designed our programs. And Terri-Ann, one thing, let me let you know too, because the 50 plus, those who haven't been online before, those who don't like to use the computer, those who are afraid about all the social media, let me tell you, this is the time to have those in the household who know about it to teach you how to use it.
And let me
because
tell you,
this is the time where we need to
even
know how
if
to
they,
use it.
those who know about the computer and those who are spending a lot of time on Facebook, when you come to our page, you can look at our news feed, but take a visit to the services tab.
Oh yes.
Take a visit to our services tab. You're going to see a whole lot about us. Take a click on the YouTube tab. All of that is on Facebook, and you will see so much more of what we have to do.
So this is time to say bye already.
It's time to say goodbye.
It
this
was
has
really
been really
beautiful,
nice.
and being here at Gael and being able to stream to the YouTube and to Facebook. I mean, this
and we
is
want to
really
thank
great.
Dr. Arnold and Maria, Desiree and Maria. You're going to be hearing more from them and from us.
And all those who have been on with us and who will be coming on. So at this stage, we're saying bye.
Bye from the beach.
Yes.
Bye from the beach, the Caribbean Sea.
Yes.
Take care.
Yes.
Till next Wednesday at 6. Remember, 6 to 7.
Great.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.